Hello! Slightly different video today. I hope you can hear me okay. It's not something I normally use, the microphone on the camera, but today we're just going to talk about my new addition to the rig. So essentially what I've done is I've built a new dashboard, and I was surprised at how easy it turned out to be. If anything, I overcomplicated it first. But yeah, essentially Moza do their own dashboard. Now, unfortunately, with that, it's got its own software, so you're kind of stuck into what Moza want you to see on the dashboard. Now, it's brilliant in the fact that it fits directly onto the Moza sort of ecosystem, ranging from the R3, R5, R9 and so on. So basically what I would call the brick direct drive units. They do a separate one for the R12 and the upper series, which are a different shaped direct drive unit. Yeah, so essentially I'm just going to run through what I've done. So all in, the whole dashboard setup. Now I know Moza, their price, there'll be a link to the Moza one down below that's specific to the R3, R5, R9, etc. I'll also put links in the description to the kit that I've got and the price and all that good stuff. So I'll put a price. There should be a price somewhere about here on the screen right now, all in, and then, as I say, the links in the description will show you where I got the kit from, mostly from Amazon, and how you can use those links to get to that kit and order it yourselves. So this is the actual dashboard itself. It's essentially a Raspberry Pi 5-inch screen. There's nothing special about it. And it acts as a third screen for my unit. Now I'm lucky in the fact that I've got a 4090 graphics card, so therefore it'll happily run multiple screens quite easily. With the lower end graphics cards, you shouldn't have any issue with it either, because the screen isn't particularly high resolution or high power, and essentially it comes with the surround. It also comes with a little stand, so you don't necessarily have to mount it to the back of your steering wheel. Now the way that I've mounted it is I've fitted these L brackets that you can see at the back. They're just basic L brackets. Again, there'll be a link to them in the description. Now when I looked at the backing, you can see I've still got the protective paper over the backing, just so that I could use that to decipher where I was going to put my holes. So essentially all I did, put these L brackets onto my base. Once they were screwed onto the base, I offered the screen up, decided whereabouts I was going to put the holes, and then just basically drilled some holes. Now, because I don't think you'll be able to see this in the video, but you can see that there is a gap behind the screen, and that's because with it being a Raspberry Pi setup, you'll see, I'll see if I can get the focus better. There we go. As it's a Raspberry Pi setup, it's quite exposed. There's a lot of electrical items, the resistors and all that sort of stuff in the back of the actual unit. I'll try and rotate that so you can see. So it literally is as basic as it comes. So all I did, I replaced the bolts again with some of the bolts that I've got. I'll link to them in the description. So these bolts are all replaced with different bolts and nuts so that they fit better and look better as well. I'm sure you'll agree when you see the kit online, these are just plastic bolts, but yeah, they look rubbish. So I went for the black bolts just to give it a bit more rugged look and kind of sit with my black and white theme that you get with the Moza anyway. Now the surround, you can see there, if I bring it out a little bit, I've cracked it. and that's purely because this surround wasn't a great fit for the screen. Now I should have took it off and filed it down a little bit, but I didn't. I was just rushing, and unfortunately it did crack. So if you get one that has got a little bit of a poor fit, yeah, just run a file over it or something, just to take the edge off, because if you don't, when you tighten it up, it will break. All right. You also run the risk of damaging inside here. I don't know if you can see that in the video, but there's a ribbon connector for the actual screen itself. So yeah, you run the risk of damaging that if it's not filed or not a good fit. But other than that, yeah, I'm impressed with it for the price that I paid as well. And as you can see, it's got HDMI, normal HDMI, and then it's got two USB ports. I think they're USB A's, really small ones anyway. I've got the cable somewhere, but yeah, they essentially, you've got one that provides just power, and then the second one actually provides the touchscreen ability. You can maybe see that in the video there. It does say touch underneath. So you can, if you install the drivers on your PC, I haven't because I don't need to touch the screen, but if you install the drivers on your PC, you should be able to use this as a touchscreen unit, and it does come with a little stylus as well, similar to what you might find falling off the back of an old Nintendo DS. But yeah, the upside to it, it also has an on-off switch, but yeah, mine's permanently on, is what it is. But yeah, it's a great bit of kit, and using the touchscreen, you can, if you use Simhub like myself, you can use the touchscreen to obviously flick between the different screens. I don't personally use the touchscreen for that, or for anything, as I mentioned. All I do is I've got a couple of buttons mapped on my little sim box, or yeah, my button box, and I use them to adjust how Simhub works. But yeah, I'll also put a link down below to Simhub for those that don't use it or have never tried it. It's fantastic. It's only available for PC, and it gives you the dashboard that you'll see in the video. I'll splice in the video in a moment. But yeah, the only issue that I've got with what I've done, and you can possibly see there, yeah, you can see how it's got, the L brackets that I've got were actually just hanging around in the shed. The link that I've sent in the description is for some that I found on Amazon that are similar but don't have this adjustment in the back. Now I've drilled them the wrong way up, if I'm honest. I put the holes at the bottom when I should have put them at the top, which meant that then I can't move the screen upwards. You'll see in the video that when I put the round wheel on, I can't see half of the screen. So this sort of from there upwards is all I can see. It's not a problem with some of the sim dashboards that you can get on Simhub, because I can see my rev counter going across, and then my gear, whatever gear I'm in this corner. That's great. You know, it works for me, but it might not work for everyone. So yeah, as a piece of advice, just make sure that you slide that up. Now also, where you drill the holes is quite important in the back. Now this hole here was pre-drilled. It came with the unit, and as you can see, there's all these little dots are pre-drilled holes for cooling of different items that are part of the screen itself, the resistors, capacitors, that sort of stuff. So one of those holes was pre-drilled, and there was nothing behind it. So that I drilled another hole using, using a set square, just to ensure that I got them perfectly level. I drilled another hole, put another bolt in, happy days. But as I say, I should really have come up to see if I could come up. Now the screws that I put inside don't interact with the back of the screen itself at all. I'm hoping you can see that in the video. So there's a screw just underneath my finger, and you can see that there is a gap just behind it. Alright, so I made doubly sure of that. Now the bolt kit that I've linked in the description, does come with the right sort of bolts that you'll need for the screen, and also it'll come with the same bolts that you use for the Moza, so mounting it on the actual steering and direct drive. These are the bolts, nice and easy, tiny bolts, Allen key tops. Yeah, and they are quite long, but you know, you don't want much more than a few millimeters on that. All right, but yeah, so that's the screen. So as I say, I'll add some footage toward the end so you guys can see it mounted on the unit and how well it works. I'll just adjust, there we go. And yeah, let me know your thoughts. Upcoming videos, as per usual, I'll be on F1 hopefully Tuesday night, and I will then also put some videos out over the next couple of weeks. An update to where I am on iRacing at the moment. So I'm currently involved in the GT Sprint series, the Fanatec GT series, I'm also in the Race Formula Ford and a couple of other series at the minute, and I'm doing alright. You'll see at the end I'll add in some of the license categories, where I'm at, where my iRacing is, and where my safety rating's going. Alright, as per usual, there'll be links up here for previous videos, current or the last live stream. Down here will be like and subscribe, and then down here will be kill cams. Yeah, and I'll look forward to seeing you soon.